Silver is very useful. Dimes, quarters, and half dollars are already recognized as currency.
Right.
So, that's an easy one to barter with. But it also can be a lot of bulk.
Are you buying or selling?
Buying.
Silver or gold?
Silver.
What kind?
Whatever Tim tells us to get.
If I were to ask you for that or that, would they come up pretty much to the same?
Probably.
And I did call another company and trying to get pricing on them, and they said, we've never heard of them. And I went, what?
How important is it that a dealer knows the manufacturer of a silver round?
New to buying gold or silver? SD Bullion makes it simple, with no order minimums, clear pricing, and discreet shipping. Trusted by hundreds of thousands, SDBullion.com, where America buys physical gold and silver.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, thank you.
How's it
Hi
going?
there. Terrific.
Terrific?
Yeah,
You're looking good. You feeling a little bit better?
a little better.
A little
I
better.
still have the one pain in my back that I have to have looked at, but
Yeah?
we're getting there.
I just wanted to say hi, because I heard that you were at Walson Army Hospital,
I was.
and I was too.
Where did you serve?
I was at Warrior Force Base. I was in the airlift command, and I was actually I was supposed to be in special ops because I'm an expert marksman, but things in my life changed. I ended up there, and we were in airlift base, and during the Tet Offensive, we were working 20-hour days, and my left ear got blown out by a C-141, and then I got a tumor, and went to Fort Dix, and they cut it out, and then it ruptured, and I ended up in the VA for a year and a half, with one thing after another. So, PTSD, you name it, I've got it.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you so much.
We used to go to PX, get
Yeah.
a six-pack,
Oh my God.
go to
yes,
the
that's
end of the runway,
used to go there.
and lie down on the runway when a C-5A would come in. And that is something else.
That's incredible.
The unit got called up while I was down at Fort Dix.
All right.
And they were repairing the damage done at the Tet Offensive.
Right.
And but they also had to extend the runways so the big planes could land and get soldiers out in a hurry. And it was very well organized, but I don't think our unit had a single casualty. I don't think they were.
Yeah.
Of course, they're paving work, filling holes and extending runways, so they probably had pretty good
During
protection.
Tet, I was at McGuire, right across from Fort Dix.
Yeah.
And we were on 20-hour shifts. And a number of the guys one guy got run over by a 10K forklift. I got blown completely off my feet and blew my left ear out. And they checked me for brain damage. I think that still exists. I'm not sure, because I get goofy every now and then. Yeah, the worst part of what I did was I unloaded caskets. To a lot of people don't know this, but they have to be shipped home with an armed guard, and so I had to make arrangements for them to leave our APO and be on a truck with an armed guard to get them to their hometown.
Yeah.
And that was very hard because I would have to log in there with net weight, and there was some GIs, 23 pounds, not much left. So it was Vietnam.
That was my job when I was at Walson, was to wash down the beds and the walls when somebody passed away. All the hopeless cases who lived on the East Coast went through Fort Dix or through Walson Army Hospital.
So, what brings you into Tim's?
Your show. We've been watching it for quite a long time. And then when I heard that he was at Fort Dix when I was in the Air Force, I wanted to meet him
Nothing yet.
because he's 80, but I'm almost 81. He's a kid.
Where are you from?
We live north of Grand Rapids, Michigan, towards Lake Michigan.
You came from Michigan to see Tim?
Well, yeah, and I've never been to New Hampshire, so I wanted tourist things. Tim then some kind of train ride she wants to go on.
Wow, your better half.
My wife, yeah.
There you go. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So you're both from Michigan.
Yes.
And have you been stacking silver and gold for very long?
We've been slacking.
You've been slacking.
He's had silver for quite some time, since Obama was elected.
Obama got you into stacking.
Yes. Yeah, I was a little concerned about which way we were going as a country, and I'm still worried. But I think it's going to get better now.
Are you buying or selling?
Buying
Buying. Silver or gold?
silver.
What kind?
We're going to get some, whatever you call those.
Whatever Tim tells us to get.
What is the stacking and prepping community like in Michigan?
Yeah, we live in an area where prepping is almost automatic. You know, grow your own food. The Amish grow a lot of the food that we get, and most of us have acreage. You know, we have 5. My other neighbor has 40.
Nice.
And we live on a lake. We have access to a lake, so water's not an issue.
We definitely need to improve our water filtration system, but canning, fruits, vegetables, making jams, even canning soups and things like that. So there's a lot of things that we do that I don't think the average people do anymore or even know how to do anymore.
You know, that's really a good question, because my immediate neighbors, I don't think are doing much silver and gold.
My Prepping the Yankee Way playlists and videos don't get the views that Tim does, but it definitely has helped a lot of people. I'll put a link in the pinned comment and in the description. Silver and gold is just a portion of your prepping. It is actually not the most important thing to prep, right? Now, you did bring some silver because I saw you lugging something. She's the one doing all the heavy lifting here, right?
Yes, we
What did you
brought Ohio Precious Metals, and we're looking at trading those, but after a conversation, we're going to hang on to them.
The OPM rounds.
Yes.
You know, Tim sells OPM rounds. I know this because I've been organizing his rounds. These right here.
That's the ones.
Those are it?
That's it.
Yeah, and so you have tubes of these, and you're going to keep them. We did have a conversation off camera
Correct.
about the OPM
It
rounds.
made sense what you said.
You were concerned, though, initially, right, about holding on to OPM rounds, because why?
Well, as far as if it turns into barter for recognition and denomination. So today I'm going to talk to him about quarters. Pretty much, we already got a shipment of dimes from him.
Yep.
It only took 8 months.
Yeah, so we the people, like, I think they're approved set or they're approved coins in little capsules. It's got an eagle with a feather on it, and on the other side says "We the people" with a feather.
This is Yankee here, and I think I might be able to track those down if they're in the case.
Hey, how you doing? So, hey, we watch your show. That's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Hey, yeah, no, I think you just posted it's your most recent show. You know, the fella had a gold coin. I think he was Austrian, and he had the big 5-ounce quarters there at the same time. And you were talking to him, and he sold them to Tim.
America the Beautiful ones.
And they had the feather on one side, it's got the feather with the eagle on the other side.
Yeah, that was the Constitution, 87.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I know what you... You're asking if we still have the gold coins?
Yeah.
They're $5 gold coins. We definitely still have them, yes.
Tim, we had the conversation while you were helping the other customer.
Yeah.
He was concerned about having OPM rounds and whether or not they would be trusted. People would buy them or barter and trade with them. And I said, yeah, it's silver. Right?
Well, we buy them.
You buy them
And we
and
usually
sell.
sell everything we buy.
I did go to a local coin shop, and they kind of talked about them as if they were a lower end, you know, not as good as.
It was a nice small town
Yes.
country business,
Yes.
and then they had a fellow come up from Texas and take them over, and then when he went to jail, I don't really know what the details were.
In
but,
Michigan, they have 2 stores, one in Grand Rapids, one in Greenville, and it's just, I don't know. I just got the feeling that the amount of money that I was given. I just sold a few of them, and the money I was given for those, I just thought they really took advantage of it because it was just so high, metals, even though they were pure silver. And I said, all right, so there you go. And we didn't sell any more, and we wanted to talk about exchanging them, but I don't think we have to at this point. They'd be pretty good to hold on to, right?
As far as I know, anything that we'll test out on the verifier is fine. I
There
mean,
you
they
go.
used to be a really good company.
Yeah.
And I think they ran into a little difficulty with personnel. Last I heard, I thought they were trying to start up again. I don't know.
I've been reading a lot about them since I bought them. And they have gone through a lot of change over the years.
Yeah, it's I've never had any problem with them.
And I did call another company and trying to get pricing on them, and they said, we've never heard of them. And I went, what? That kind of bothered me. Like they left town, So,
How important is it really, though, that a dealer, knows the manufacturer of a silver round? And does it really make a whole lot of difference if it's OPM versus a generic Buffalo versus
It
a
can
Liberty?
because the wholesaler still has a list of things they don't want to buy, and we still buy them, but I guess if I sent them to my wholesaler, he'd probably pay a lot less. So
Okay.
I pay attention to what's on the list.
that was
But
the feeling that I had, was it was kind of not on the top of their
I think
wish list.
it would be great if the wholesaler only had top drawer everything come in, but they have truckloads come in.
Yeah.
And so they have to decide which ones they're going to keep and sell, or which ones they're going to take to the refinery and melt down.
If your exit strategy for silver is for potential barter and trade in an SHTF type scenario as a prep, then what a dealer might think of an OPM round is really not the most important thing, is it? It's what somebody would think of it in a barter and trade scenario, right?
Yeah, I don't want to have to educate the whole world on the value of what's in my hand.
You would have to educate them on the value of silver potentially,
Exactly.
but I don't think you have to worry about educating them on what an OPM round is.
That's a good point, but I figured if it had an eagle on it or something, most of the people running around out there go like, that looks American.
Right. Now, that's a good point. So diversification is really important, having a variety of things,
That's what I'm doing.
right?
Yes.
And you never know what somebody might say, I don't trust that, I don't know what that is, so I'd rather trade with something else. And then you have something else that you could pull out, even an eagle.
Well, I need to find that out and see if it's within budget, but I feel good about if I have quarters in my hand, even if they're at $80 an ounce, I can say this quarter is worth this much money. And if they say, no, it's not, I'll say, look it up.
I think eventually, and not so much for me because I'm getting beyond the point when they should be too concerned about barter, but eventually there would be a lot of barter around the country, and that's where silver is the most valuable. Dimes, quarters, and half dollars are already recognized as currency.
Right.
So, that's an easy one to barter with. Silver is very useful, but it also can be a lot of bulk, depending on how much you have.
Right.
A lot of bulk and a lot of weight. If you were going to spend $100,000, you probably want to do 80% of it in gold, because the other 20% is going to be a lot of weight.
I'd like to get around with your impression on it to start off. One of your rounds is what, like 2,000?
Oh, gosh. No, I think it went up. Should we check that and see what the price
I went online.
Well, it's less than it used to be.
Those are specialty rounds, though.
There.
Yeah.
And they're rare, too. They only make a few of them.
Yes. They're limited mintage. Yes.
If I was to buy this, or excuse me, this and this, what would be the price difference between the OPM and the Buffalo? How much difference would I have involved?
Okay, let's take a look and
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
curious.
It's very easy to price these things. Okay, silver is down $1 today, and it's at 84.60. So I would sell the OPM at 87.
Okay.
Okay, these are 88.
No, so it's $1. If I were to ask you for that or that, would they come up pretty much to the same?
Probably.
Just because of the nature of the mint?
Exactly. Buffaloes have a branding that.
Well, they're
people
made by
want.
private companies.
Yes.
And
Yes,
these
that's right.
are actually advertising pieces for the company.
There it is.
What would the value of a tube of those be? What would your price be on that?
So Yankee Tim round, a tube of buffaloes, and the remainder in silver quarters.
Correct.
Sounds good.
By the way, I love it when you talk politics. I was a political science major.
I always do.
We're on the same team. Trust me. And a lot of your knowledge is right on.
Well, it's really sad that Trump has so much opposition. There's some bills that really need to be passed. And
I don't understand what happened to America when people see an opportunity for us to at least get back to what our basic values and to fight it. I mean, what were they taught?
Well, the UFOs that we've been seeing lately.
Oh yeah, well there have been a couple that flew in
That's
my
where
house.
they come from.
Yeah,
Tell me about this
well,
stick.
we were camping by the bridge, south of the bridge,
I'm sorry, which bridge?
south of Mackinac Bridge,
Oh,
and we stopped at a general store just outside the park to pick up a few items, and I saw a bucket and it had a number of walking sticks in it. And I saw this one, and it had the dog's head on it.
Yeah.
And there's a story that goes down about walking his dog. And I saw the flag, and I loved it. They were $100 a piece, and all done by a veteran.
wonderful.
So I thought, if it helps a veteran, and at the time I bought it, I didn't need it, but I had it, and then I had surgery on my foot and a number of things, and I use it a lot more now. It's a great stick. I get more compliments on the stick than I do on how pretty I am.
Okay, so we're working on the quarters now.
Yes, how many quarters can I get for the? And here's 3,000. That's
Okay.
my budget right here.
Are they real?
No. These went up to 40 a piece, so we'll take 2 of these.
Okay.
40?
Because you charge so much for your signature.
No, I don't.
You can have that. Even signed, you can have that.
It's supply and demand, right, Tim?
It is supply and demand.
Keep running the price up. I knew you when you walked through the door.
How did you know?
I saw your hands.
Oh.